Hello, I'm Ben, and I'm back for another video about insights to the bigger picture of music. And that's kind of like a weird, clunky, long name. I need something short, simple, clever that I'm not going to forget the order of the words. I'm just playfully alluding to the fact that I'm going to talk about chord voicings today, which is the ordering of notes in a chord. So you have a chord starting from low to high pitch. What notes come in what order? Using our C major open chord shape, we have a C, an E, a G, another C, and another E. So there are redundant notes there. There's two C's, which is the root, and there's two E's, which is the fifth. And that's fine. It's just a voicing of a C major triad. That's all there is to it. However, once we start to extrapolate this, it gets a little bit more complicated. Let me demonstrate with a G major, which is just a G, B, and D. We can play it here, or here, way up here, even here, and there's a little baby one hiding there. So, it's like, what's the point? Why play the G here when you could just do it there, right? And something that I've kind of realized, and I hope by sharing this, it's going to help people kind of strengthen their emotional connection with music, is that to me, it feels like there's shades of a color, which I know sounds a little bit out there, but hang in there for a second. I hope this is all going to make sense. Basically, it's like we don't have one green, right? There's not the green. We have minty green, seafoam green, a mossy green, lime green, right? And these all kind of have different feelings, right? Lime green is probably, energizing and exciting, and minty green is fresh and maybe cool, right? And this is where it does get a little bit subjective. People of different cultural backgrounds, different personal backgrounds, or musical tastes will probably have a different impression, a different emotional response to different voicings for chords, just like people may have for color. And if you can build for yourself a strong connection between emotion and sound of different chord voicings, you can really start to more effectively create music that's really like what you're hearing in your head that you want to create, but it's not quite right, by having associations with these, like, oh, I need something a bit dark, so I'm gonna reach for my toolbox of dark sounding chord voicings, like that sort of thing. I know it sounds a little bit silly, but if you really start to think about it this way and try it out, I think it would be really, really helpful. So let me give an example, and again, this is just my personal feeling about this chord. Is the D major, open D major chord, is we have a root, a fifth, and a root, and then the third, that's D, A, D, and then F sharp. So by having this D, A, D cluster in the beginning, it's almost like a power chord built right into the shape, to this voicing. In fact, because A is the fifth, we can add in the open A string. This would technically make it a second inversion, but I'm not going to get into that. I'll do inversions at a later date. Toss that in, like, oh man, talk about a beefcake of a chord, like that's an attention grabber, when this D over A walks into the room, everyone looks over, right? And that's kind of cheesy, but like if you can seriously build these sorts of, even if they're kind of cliche, associations, it's really helpful. To me, it's like, that'd be a great way to start off an album or even a song. And you know what? Nick Drake's Pink Moon, the album with the first track, Pink Moon, starts off that way. Granted, it's an open C shape, which is kind of like your guitar is like tuned just like this. And I think it's capoed up, but it's irrelevant. To me, that's just like a really awesome way to kick off a record, and it's an attention grabber, at least to me. And I'm going to give one quick example from my own song called Nothing to Be Proud Of. So the chorus, it goes like this. So being my song, it's kind of easy to talk about it because I know my thought processes. So lyrically, it's kind of a darker song. It's self-deprecating kind of a thing. But I wanted, tonally, it to be more light, playful, chipper, that sort of playfully kind of a feel. Playfully. So, like having this... That's actually a G7 to an E minor. Granted, it's a first inversion, again, doesn't really matter too much. But if we were to compare that to using the open shapes for a G7 and E minor. Not that there's anything wrong with open shapes, but just for what I was going for. It kind of gets a little bit darker, right? Having this open E is kind of heavy, you know? So if that's what you were wanting to do, you know, like have like a nice and light and chipper and then bam, smack him in the face with a heavy chord, you could do that. It's an option, you know? And there's just so many of these voices. There are all these colors that you can mix together on your palette to make the song that you want, to create the feel that you need, you know? And again, as I said before, if you can really start to build up your kind of emotional connection with these sounds, it can be really, really powerful to genuinely getting the sound that you want. Not being like, that's kind of close, I guess I'll go for that, you know, but really refine it to what you really are dreaming to create, you know? So thanks for listening. One more quick thing. Chord voicings can help for chord transitions. So really quick example. If you were going to transfer from this G major to this D minor, that's a heck of a jump, right? But there's a D minor here. I just happen to know this one's already here. Play them side by side just so you can hear it. You know, it's a lot closer, so maybe it's easier, depending on if you just need something that's a little bit, you know, more relaxed. It's more of like a technique thing than like emotional, philosophical stuff. But yeah, that's just one other little quick thing I wanted to add in there. That's all. Thank you for watching if you did this far. It means a lot to me, and I hope you can take something away and create music that you really want to create. Yeah, so if you liked it, leave me a thumbs up. That lets me know to keep doing this sort of thing. Subscribe if you want to see more of these when they come out. And leave a comment if I made any mistakes. Please point out mistakes. I don't want to be a spreader of misinformation. Or if you just want to say hi, you know, leave a comment to say hi and any other feedback you might have about the video. So thank you so much if you made it this far, and I hope I gave you something useful. See you next time.